Now, the issue will be is if next year they come into the season paying Jared Goff $30 million, and if you still are this bad, then you're looking at a very, very hot seat.
Yeah.
Because, to Maximilian's point here, who should the next Lions quarterback be, or who will be the next Lions quarterback? Do you have any thoughts on that? And I'm gonna give you a backing track.
Give a little music to think about it. Listen, I'm still all in on Bryce Young. I don't think, that his sense of mechanics or, I think I like his upside. I really like the talent that he's shown. I like his ability to improv, be athletic, has an arm, has the connection with Jameson Williams already, which is going to be the big, draw in terms of who he is. I think he has all what they need in terms of a young quarterback. He doesn't seem big. I think he's like 6 feet, but that doesn't
Not
scare
big.
me at all. He doesn't look big at all, but he has the arm strength and the athleticism to be a competent quarterback as of right now. He doesn't need to be Lamar Jackson mobile. If you can just stretch plays and improv with the receivers that you have, I think he'll be dangerous and effective enough to do that. So that's my pick for next season.
I don't have an answer to this.
Boo.
As far as a name goes.
Just as long
But
as
I
it's not
have an
Goff.
idea. I have a
Okay.
thought.
Okay.
Okay. If the Lions are going to move on from Jared Goff, which I think financially is the right move to make.
Yep.
If you're going to move on from Jared Goff, then you got to find a way, because if he's on your roster, he's costing you $30 million. Okay.
Right.
Which is a significant chunk of change for a, bottom 5 quarterback in the league.
Right.
At the other side, at the flip of the coin, he's going to cost you $10 million in dead cap if you let him go.
Right.
So he's costing you $10 million regardless, okay? My thought is, who's the next Geno Smith? Who is that guy that needs to prove himself, that maybe hasn't gotten a chance, but is going to cost you maybe 10? I don't even know what Geno's making. I probably should have looked it up, but maybe
small,
10,
yeah.
maybe $12 million. Then you're still saving $8 million on the cap, right?
Yep.
There's got to be a way to find a backup type guy or a career backup type guy that maybe has some starting experience. I have an idea in my mind, and you're going to hate me for it.
Man.
He's probably too expensive, but that could put you over the hump. One of my buddies brought up the guy Tyler Huntley from Baltimore.
Like that name.
Great cheap option to run an offense for 1 to 2 years while you get somebody in the pipeline, right?
Like it.
That is I mean, he's proved when he comes into the league as a starter, he can hang, right?
He had a good preseason. He was a hot name while he was away. He was doing really well. I liked it.
I don't know about that, but so you're like, if I'm building a team, I'm spending my assets on the biggest holes that we have. The biggest holes that we have are on defense. We need to spend our assets on defense. We also need to look at upgrading our quarterback position. Tell me Tyler Huntley couldn't potentially be an upgrade over Jared Goff.
He is.
Especially with the saved money that's potential.
Yep.
Right? So that's my answer to that question, is who will be the next Lions guy? Whoever is the best, cheapest option in order to build. Because then over the next 2 years, whether you drafted a Young, right, a Bryce Young, or a Hendon Hooker, or a Will Levis, whatever the case may be, if you're drafting one of those guys, you don't want to throw them into the fire, because we know that in the NFL, your success as a quarterback has as much to do with where you're drafted to,
Right.
as to your actual talent ability. Case in point being Trevor Lawrence in Jacksonville. He was supposed to be an all-world talent. He is not, because of the situation that he's drafted into. So, if there's a way, like, Dre thinks here, my grandma being an upgrade over Jared Goff, which, I mean, any breathing human at this point is an upgrade, especially because they cost less. But that's kind of my thought process, is get maybe a cheaper deal guy that could come in and play quarterback for you. I don't know what Baker has left on his contract.
You don't see, you didn't even have to do that. Come on, stop it.
I'm just saying, man, if it's serviceable, and the weapons are the weapons, they're not changing.
No.
Right?
And yeah, I tweeted about it. I'm like, as long as At this point, Jared Goff truthers have no more no arguments. At this point, I think it's a consensus agreement that Jared Goff ain't it moving forward. And again,
Austin here's on our
nah,
wavelength.
We can't do it, Austin. Sorry, man.
I wouldn't trade the first. You cannot give up the draft capital. I mean, Eric, we've talked about Lamar. I mean, we brought it up on this show, and then you wrote a piece about it.
Yeah.
But you cannot give up that type of draft capital. If they're willing to take maybe future first rounds and maybe a second next year and a second the year after, maybe I would do that. But those 2 first round draft picks next year are so invaluable to building an actual team that you can't give him up. You can't give it up for Lamar, especially with what he's going to cost against the cap. Ricky, I'm sorry I'm breaking your heart that I brought up Baker. My choice would obviously be someone like a Huntley. Don't hold it.
He's kidding. No, he wants Baker. You just said his name enough at this point. We out on you. We know what you really about.